Supernatural files. While we dive into the unexplained and the super, maybe across time, across dimensions, into the old times of Jason and the Argonauts, where Greece in the ocean, long forgotten long ago, into video games such as Final Fantasy franchise. A siren, a Greek mythology, was said to be half human and half bird. Beautiful, it lured sailors at the sweet-like melody of a song. According to whom, there were two sirens between the sea. I hope I'm saying this, pronounce it right. Allure, usually increased to 3, where they were said to be off of the coast of Italy, near Naples. They were variously said to be the daughters of the sea Perseus, or the river god Aeschylus, by one of the muses. Although they lured mariners in a meadow surrounded with flowers, they were said not to be sea deities. Roman writers linked the sirens more closely in some later rationalized editions. The literal geography, the flowery of the island of Anthem-Musa is fixed sometimes on Cape Hellerum and at others in the islands known as Sirens, Paestum, or in Capria. All such locations were said to be surrounded by cliffs and rocks, henceforth that the sailors would ride their ships into these cliffs and these rock formations, dooming their crew, passengers, and the ship itself. According to the Greek Neoplatonist Proclus played sirens, the celestial, the generative, and vocatory, or cathartic. The first was ruled under Zeus, the second was ruled under Poseidon, the god of the sea, and the third was ruled under Hades, the god of the underworld. When the soul is in heaven, the sirens seek by harmonic to the divine light of the celestial hosts, and when in Hades, to conform the soul to eternal infernal regiment. But when on earth, their only job is to produce generation, of which the sea is emblematic. Now that we have talked about the lore surrounding the sirens, let's get into the notable sirens that have been mentioned throughout history. There were some named sirens: Parthenon, the Lexipia, Pisone, Aglaophae, Ligeia, Leucosia. When the sirens were given a name of their own, they were to be the daughters of the river god Acleos, fathered upon Turkish Melpomene, Sturo, and Gaia. The Euripides Helen, 167, Helen in her anguish called upon winged maidens, guardians of the earth. Now let's get into what made these sirens so legendary. The Odyssey. Sirens are found in many Greek stories, particularly in Homer's The Odyssey, where they are particularly famous. In the story, Odysseus orders himself to be tied to the mast of the ship so he may hear their song as the ship passes around. As the ship passes, with beeswax to ignore the plea to be united, so that leave the ship to join the sirens. In Homer's Odyssey, Book 12, the Greek hero Odysseus, advised by his sorcerer Circe, escaped the danger of the heirs of his crew with the wax, so that they were deaf to the sirens. Odysseus himself wanted to hear the songs, but had himself tied to the mast so he would not be able to steer the ship off course. Apollonius of Rhodes in Argonautica, Book 4, relates that when the Argonauts sailed that way, Orpheus sang so divinely that only one of the Argonauts heard the sirens. song. According to the Argonautica, Boots alone was compelled by the Sirens' water, but his life was saved by the goddess Cyprus, a cult name for Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and Hyginus's fabulae. Number 141, a mortal's ability to resist them causes the sirens to commit suicide. Ovid, Metamorphoses, Book 5, wrote that the sirens were human, companioned by Persephone, and she was carried off by Hades. They sought her everywhere, and finally prayed for wings to fly across the sea. The gods granted their prayer in some versions. Meter turned them into Persephone. In art, the sirens appeared first as birds, the heads of women, and later as women, sometimes winged, sometimes with bird legs. Now that we got into one version of the myth, let's explore other versions. By Demeter to find in order to help the goddess find her daughter. However, Demeter cursed them when they could not find Persephone. In another myth, Hera persuaded the sirens in a singing competition against the Muses. Muses won and plucked the feathers of the sirens, turned white, and jumped into the sea of Aptera. Anguish, the sirens turned white and threw them in the sea, and threw themselves in the sea of Aptera, featherless in Lukai. When you're on the sea, there have been stories of cruise passengers and captains hearing a lovely song, and they were said to be so enticed they steered their ships into rocks and cliffs, stranding the passengers and crew and the captain himself, sometimes leading to their demise. When you hear that song, better tie yourself or put beeswax in your ears so that you are being prevented, being enticed by the Sirens song. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode of The Sirens. If you like this video, hit the red subscribe button down below. Hit it with a thumbs up. Click the notification bell to always on, and leave a comment down below. Until next time, I'll see you in the next Supernatural Files. See ya.